I truly believe that you've always been that person. You just didn't know how to pull it out.
Yeah.
And that's why this podcast
That's good.
is so important, because this may help someone to get what they need to pull it out, because it's always there. It's always there.
Before we end, how did that help you? Like, what did that speak to? You said that it really helped you if you felt like this podcast was for you, this episode.
I needed to hear that, because I'm vulnerable enough to sit here and say, well, this podcast is about me, because I sure enough take things personally. I've accepted it. I know it. And I consciously want to work on it. Mm-hmm. And I think hearing you say that, even though you weren't speaking directly to me, I felt like you were speaking only to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was the light bulb moment for me.
Yeah.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to another episode of Self-Talk. This is the Self-Talk Experience, where we teach folks how to tell a different story to themselves, because the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines who and what we attract for ourselves. And I'm here with the lovely T Self. What's going on, wifey?
Hey, babe.
Hey.
So wait, did you know, this is a fact about self-talk.
Okay.
Did you know that your self-talk could actually be a dialogue? Like, you're talking to yourself. It's not a monologue.
Interesting.
Yeah, so because you think about it, you say, now, should I go to the store? Well, no, I shouldn't go to the store. Well, maybe I should, but if I go that way, I think it's traffic. But if you're actually having a conversation with yourself.
Yeah, so it's like two different self-talks going on.
Yes.
Right? They can debate each other.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Now, that would be interesting.
Well, I'm sure it is interesting sometimes.
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
if people start saying it out loud.
Right.
Think about that.
No,
what that looks like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. Should I go? Should I go? Should I answer? Should I answer? Should I text? Or I shouldn't text? They wouldn't want me to text them. Yes, they would. You better text her.
Yeah, that's...
See out loud, look how crazy that sounds.
It sounds really crazy.
Yeah.
But
so let's talk today about not taking it personal.
Oh, no. I can't talk about that.
Not taking it personally?
I take everything personally. I do. It's bad. I do. I'm a work in progress. Okay. I'm reading a lot.
Well, that's one of the 4 agreements. So it is tough, because look, check
it's
this
hard.
out.
It's
check
hard.
this out. This path has been laid for us, where we start thinking about things the way we think about things without having any control with how we think about it. Check this out.
What?
I know. Don't ask me to repeat that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Check this out. I'm getting deep now. I'm getting deep. Getting deep on you, girl. Look, this is how it works. When you were born, you didn't choose your first language, right? Your environment chose your first language. You didn't choose your first school. Your parents chose your first school. You didn't choose whether you were rewarded for something or punished for something. Some parents were really good at rewarding for everything. Some kids never were rewarded for anything. They did something great. You're supposed to do something great. No reward for you, right? You did something bad. Some kids got punished, like severely punished. Some kids didn't get punished at all. Right. It's like, I did it, you did it. That's what our family does. So all of these things, think about this, compounded over years, 15, 18 years. Some rewards, not rewards. So their attitudes were shaped, languages were shaped, way they thought about things were shaped. Mm-hmm. Right? All this was shaped. So by the time this man meets this woman, or this girl meets her best friend, the girl who's going to become her best friend, mm-hmm. all of those things have been shaped on both of their sides, unbeknownst to themselves. I mean, all they know is just my life. Until they meet someone who was raised differently, perhaps now when they don't get rewarded for something, they take it personally, like, I don't understand. They didn't even say anything to me. They didn't even say thank you. They didn't pay attention. They didn't give me an accolade or a compliment.
Oh, yes, I understand. Mm-hmm.
This person is like, what's wrong with her?
Right.
Because her parents never rewarded anything. But it wasn't bad. It's just the way it was. She didn't realize it was bad until her best friend says, how come you never like tell me if I do something good? You never like compliment me. You never like reward me, celebrate me. She's like, what do you mean? And
both people in that situation think they're right.
Exactly.
And they don't understand the other one.
Because in that case, right is a matter of perspective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So this is why in the 4 agreements, it talks about, not taking it personally and how it's really that person who's saying whatever they're saying, it's a reflection of their own reality.
Right.
That was their reality.
Right.
So that's not necessarily wrong, but you prefer for them to operate differently in this relationship. And that's where, not taking it personally so that you can say it in a way where we grow through this communication on what I would like. And now they have to become this person with you that they've not been for 18 years, 38 years. Remember, this has been shaped. This is what they've been shaped to be. Mm-hmm. It was never wrong for them. And now it's like, why do you want me to be this person? You know what this is? When people say that, that's funny, right? You know what this is when you met me. That's scary though, because all that means is that I'm not one to change. It was what it was. It's gonna be is what it is.
And this is it. This is me. I'm doing me. That's another one.
Right. I'm living my truth.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we're talking about today this whole self-talk, and this is so important because I've seen so many people miss out on deals, like financially, because they took something personally. And I tried. Like as a mediator, I could talk about specific deals. I have to be careful because in a podcast, people sometimes think you're talking about them. And I'm just speaking generally most of the time. But folks are like, yeah, I know you're talking about me on a podcast.
That's because they're taking it personally.
I'm going to keep you around, T-Self. That was good. Right? A reflection, maybe where they are.
Exactly. It's hard to sometimes just get the message.
Yeah.
But I struggle with it. I struggle with it, so I understand. I understand.
Do you struggle with that?
I do. There's been a lot of times when I'm upset about something or feel hurt about something, and you say to me, why are you taking that so personally? Mm-hmm. And I have to really talk to you about it and talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have you or somebody that's a good sounding board, they would go right down the rabbit hole with me.
Yeah. Yeah, co-signing with a weakness is a tough thing. Mm-hmm. In a healthy relationship, you don't want to have a yes man, right? You don't want to have someone who just co-signs. No. You want someone who challenges you to be better. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a sounding board.
Right.
Because sometimes you're like, what do you say? Go ahead and tell everybody
I say
what
this
you
to you all the time. When I have an issue, sometimes I say, babe, I want to talk to you about something. But right now, I need you to take off your husband hat and put on your friend hat. And you have to kind of get yourself together for a minute and you say, okay, right. Because you are so good at listening and right away coming up with the plan, coming up with a solution. Right. And a lot of times I don't want to hear the solution. I want to be in it. I want to be mad. I want to be upset. Is not lying. And I need for you to just say, wow, what? Really? I need you to do that sometimes. And then after I get it out, then I say, okay, now help me. But we have
and I'm working on that too because I am a fixer by nature.
Yes, and I love it. That's one of the things I love most about you. And I think that's one of
But sometimes you don't want to be fixed. You want to stay broken.
Not well. Not.
You're not supposed to laugh behind the camera, Janelle.
Is there somewhere between fixed and broken? I don't want to be broken, but is there somewhere in between? Can I be in the in between, just for a second?
Okay.
But I was gonna say, I was trying to give you a compliment.
Right.
I was gonna say that is one of your best attributes.
Thank you.
With me and everyone that you have a relationship with. You are the person, we were just talking about your brand and who you are. You're the person that everyone goes to when they want a solution. When they don't want to hear anything else. They want to say, help me fix this. Mm-hmm. You're the person. And we love you for that. But I just said, sometimes I don't want that guy.
Who do you want?
Tell
the world.
I want you to say, are you kidding me? Why would they do that? I'm like, yes, why would they do that? And you're like, I don't know. Why do you? And then after you let me get it out, you're like, are you ready for me to fix you?
I'm working on that. I am. I'm working on that.
It's not a bad thing, but we have the understanding.
Yeah. I'm working on that. And sometimes I'm hearing you, right? And I hear where you are, and I hear where you. But it's hard because I immediately want to come in and save the day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want you in that place. I don't want you unnecessarily upset or in a place where your energy, your vibe is off. You know what I mean? Because I want you at a joyful, happy place. And so I immediately want to come in and say, hey, listen, but think about it this way, babe.
Right.
Like, what if it was actually like this and not like that?
And a lot of times, you're right.
Most of the time. And then there was silence.
Is this an intervention podcast?
Yes, it is.
Because you're like looking at me and saying, wow, fix me, baby.
So for those who are listening to this and not watching this, there's some facial expressions happening right now. So go check out the visuals. That's all I'm going to say. So, babe, so we're talking about not taking it personally. And listen, let's do this. Before I get to this last part, let's go out to our sponsors real quickly. So author and trainer Monte Sanders has been in this health and wellness space for over 20 years. His most notable clients are NFL Hall of Famers Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. And guess what? He's got an Amazon best-selling book that you can gain access to right now. It's The Power of You versus You. I'm going to tell you right now how you can get access to that and his other programs. All you have to do is go to thepowerofyouversusyou.com. That's it. Thepowerofyouversusyou.com to get access to that amazing book as well as all of his other programs. Hey, what's up, fam? You got to connect with J&E Builders. They buy homes in any condition. J&E Builders even help out with distressed properties. And if you're dealing with a significant amount of taxes, J&E Builders will assist you with that home as well. Give them a hit at J&E_builders. That's at Instagram at J&E_builders.
Hey family, make sure you're following my girl Brianna on Instagram at Belux Boutique or to shop for date night or just lounging in the house. She has everything you need. As you can see, go to her website, belux.shop, and get you some great pieces today.
Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience family? Listen, I thought I was going to get some bathrooms renovated, but I had no idea when I connected with my man Stan Neal that it would be more than a renovation. I'm not even sure what the term should be. Maybe transformation, because I started with the bathrooms and all of a sudden my entire basement was redone in a way that my family members thought I moved. Seriously. So if you're looking to take your house to the next level, whether it's some custom construction, some transformation of your bedroom, your bathrooms, your family room, your great room, I did it all. I mean, if I showed you my entire house before and after pictures, in fact, I'm going to show you some, you would say, no way is that the same room or the same house. Listen, I'm just saying this because I've got personal experience with this gentleman. So you want to connect with him, I'm going to give you the number, his office number to reach him, as well as email. And again, you will not be disappointed. So if you want to reach him via his office number, 202-359-3923. Again, 202-359-3923. And email is Stan, Stan.nealjr, Nealjr at freshairllc.com. Connect with my man Stan. You won't be disappointed. All right, we are back, and we are talking about not taking it personally. This is tough. And again, I talked about people missing out on financial deals, opportunities, relationships that,
yes,
you know what I mean? They met someone who potentially was their soulmate, and they took something personally.
And couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's talk about this. Because you said one of your shadow traits, right? When you are not in your best self, you take things personally.
Mm-hmm. I do.
But you said, hey, I'm working on that. How are you working on that?
It's a confidence thing.
Okay.
And the more confident you become in who you are and what you stand for, it gets better. So I know that I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely not as sensitive as I used to be, but I still am. And this is the other thing about that. A lot of times it depends on who it is because relationships with everyone they're different.
Yep.
So someone can say something or make me feel away. And then if my mom does it,
Right.
I can't deal with it.
Right.
But if somebody else does it, my confidence is building. So I'm like,
Right.
But if the relationship is closer, then that makes it a lot harder to overcome.
Yep. No, it's very true. It's very true. And what I found in working with people and helping to coach people beyond a place where they take everything personally. I mean, we all know somebody who takes everything personally. I'm like, no, that they weren't talking about you. That wasn't about you. And it could be something simple like somebody not holding the door, walking into a restaurant. They go, I can't believe they didn't hold the door.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with you. We've talked about that all the time.
Right. I remember that incident where someone didn't hold the door. And then was it you? Somebody, who was it that said?
Somebody said, I can't believe they just let the door go in my face.
Right.
And I said, you have to know that perhaps it's not about you. They could have been going through something, thinking about something else. They didn't intentionally say, oh, she's coming, let me close the door in her face.
Right.
They could have been walking into the restaurant to meet with family to plan a funeral.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with...
And they weren't even thinking about holding the door. All they could think about is, I can't believe I lost my loved one.
Right. And if it was a different day, they're not that person.
Right.
So you can't take it personally.
That's so good. And even if they are that person, remember we talked about how their parents never held the door. Their parents never taught them to hold the door. Right? Nobody who they were ever with and dated said, hey, hold the door. No one's ever corrected them from that behavior.
Regardless, you can't. You just can't.
So it's not like they said, watch me not hold this door. That's their right. And we talked about that at the beginning of this podcast, this episode, right? So this is so good because I guarantee there's somebody watching this. I know it. It's like, that's me. I feel like I'm holding myself back. I've got this self-imposed barrier and I can't get beyond myself to get to this place to have fruitful relationships, to earn the 6 and 7 figures, to, whatever it is they're looking to do. And they're like, man, I'm holding me back.
I can relate.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I found is that when I can help people, or when people choose to find out who they truly are. I mean, this is a deep dive.
You have to be open.
Find out who they really are.
Yes.
And they're no longer asking for validation or acceptance from anybody.
Anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Like not even the people closest to them.
Okay.
Like I know who I am. I know what I stand for. You talked about this, right? I know my core values. So when anyone second guesses that, when anyone says anything, they immediately think, well, can't be talking about me because I'm a queen. I'm a king. I'm this, right? You know who you are. And when you know who you are, I'm not waiting for you to say something so that I now can accept me. I'm not waiting for you to say something so I now validate me. I don't need you to call me pretty, handsome. I don't need you to call me wealthy. Right? I know who I am. And so now nothing you say allows me to take it personally because I already know exactly who I am, where I'm headed, and who I'm called to be. I know my purpose. I know my passion. I'm in all the way. I'm 100% in. I know who I am. I know exactly who I am. And my circumstances doesn't even dictate who I am. You think you know who I am based on my circumstances because I don't have a car right now, because I can't pay my bills right now, right? You think that's who I am. I already know who I am. Who I am, you haven't seen yet. So nothing you say to me can stop me from seeing who I'm going to be because who I see I'm going to be is already pulling me in that direction.
Wow. And this is so crazy because I am sitting here a part of the podcast, but you're helping me so much right now that I can't even, I'm sorry. I feel like this is for me. Like maybe the camera shouldn't even be on.
Wow.
Because you really just took me, it was almost a dot. Remember we just had the episode about connecting the dots.
Yeah.
I feel like this moment, I don't know, just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad we chose this topic.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad we chose this topic.
Yeah.
I think that we all get to a place in life where there is a moment where and you've said this on another episode, we make a decision, and through that decision and the right people around you, right support, right accountability, that we move away from who we used to be so far that we don't even recognize who we used to be, so that when people try to speak to us as the person we used to be, we're not taking it personally because we know
Yes.
who we are and we don't even know who that person is. We're like, so who now, huh?
But I truly believe that you've always been that person. You just didn't know how to pull it out.
Yeah.
And that's why this podcast
That's good.
is so important, because this may help
Yeah.
someone to get what they need to pull it out, because it's always there. It's always there.
Before we end, how did that help you? Like, what did that speak to? You said that it really helped you if you felt like this podcast was for you, this episode.
I needed to hear that because I'm vulnerable enough to sit here and say, well, this podcast is about me, because I sure enough take things personally. I've accepted it. I know it. And I consciously want to work on it. And I think hearing you say that, even though you weren't speaking directly to me, I felt like you were speaking only to me. It was the light bulb moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait till we get to episode 100 and 200. You know, we're not going to be the same person, right? The people who are watching this won't be the same people. We have to have like a self-talk experience getaway. We can all hang out and talk about, you know, what we got from shifting our self-talk. Not what they got from us, because this isn't about Darnell and Tracy getting the accolades. It's about what was revealed to me about me.
Right. I mean, this is the 7th episode, I think, that we've recorded.
Yeah, something like that.
I am a different person from episode 1 already, for me.
Wow.
So I can only pray that everyone who's consistently here with us on this journey, that we're on it together. Yeah. Like, I may not know you or ever meet you, but just know that we're on the journey together. Because I'm different. I'm growing. You're pushing me and stretching me every time I turn this microphone on.
Right.
Every time.
Thank you.
I think that I know that there are a lot of folks out there, they're here in it with me.
Right. Yeah, you know what? And babe, this is the thing that I love about personal growth, because what we're doing here is really about personal growth. It's about a person deciding to grow themselves. And when we grow, of course, things around us grow.
Yes.
But here's the thing I love about personal growth. At any moment, you decide to consistently grow yourself. You attract completely different things because your standards change, what you're willing to accept changes.
Absolutely.
Because now you're somebody different.
Yeah.
So as this person, people are like, you changed. Yes, I have. Absolutely.
I hope I have.
Right. Absolutely, I've changed. And because you're here, you no longer accept what this person would accept here. You're not that person anymore. You're not supposed to accept this anymore. Right? So your today's price, not yesterday's price. So what I'm saying is that we're at 24 is when I started reading books, outside of college.
Right.
I started reading books and listening to audios. And I know it is at least a couple of 100 books.
Right.
And audios.
Easy.
So what I'm saying is a couple of 100 episodes here. I cannot imagine, because people are intentional about tapping into something, as you said, that's already in them.
Right.
And when people come
It's there.
intentional about that, they're like, oh, look, everything's already in me.
Yep.
So all of the Self-Talk Experience viewers, let me just tell you, if your goal is to make $1 million, it's already in you. T-Self said it. Now you just have to believe it yourself.
Absolutely.
And then find a vehicle, find mentors within that vehicle who have already done it and they have fruit. Not just saying, they have fruit. When you combine all those things, you believe, you find the vehicle, and you find mentors that are willing to share with you best practices within that vehicle, it's all over.
And your self-talk is on point. What?
Hey, guys, well, I'm excited for you all. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, you got me all emotional. They messed up my makeup.
I didn't get you emotional. You became emotional based on you pulling something out of you that was already in you. And now, girl,
I'm growing.
Girl, we're going to take this to the next level. All right, so T-Self is going to do the next episode all by herself. She doesn't need me anymore. So
I really don't. Stay tuned. New promos coming. 2022.
Okay, so it'll be called the Beverly Talk because that's her maiden name. So you leave, you're going to have to leave, take that last name and leave it right here on this table.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. You don't mean that.
I don't. All right, guys. This has been another episode of Self Talk.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Self Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.
If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman and millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast.